Hey everyone, this is LaDondra Hervey, your Soul Alignment business coach. I'm super excited today because today I have a special surprise. Now I haven't been on in a whole minute, but you know, it was by intention because I've been working on some things that God has put in my belly that I am going to be launching pretty soon. And I'm really excited to put this out there in the way that God has shared with me. And this is part of a vision that He had given me. And it was part of the intention that He had, because one of the words that the Lord gave me this year was to be a sexy six-figure business owner. And wait, it was a sexy six-figure sister. And that was, you know, with that vision, it was to manifest all of that in my business. And so with that being said, God gave the vision and I had to step back for a little bit, specifically this week. And I had used this week to help me to just clear the noise and to remove all distractions and all of that stuff. And as I was doing it, it came to my mind. I was like, you know what? I want my kids to be part of this. This is a big part of something that is part of a bigger picture that God is doing. And this happened yesterday, and that's why you see them here. This is my son Kaleeb. Say hey. Hey. And this is my daughter Jayla. Kaleeb is 12. Jayla is almost 15. We're in her. You're not 13. See, lies. You gonna have me messing up stuff. We're in her 15th birthday year. So this is her birthday month. It's August 31st. So happy almost birthday. You ain't get no presents. Anyhow, so yesterday I was like, oh my gosh, you know, because a lot of times we have this stuff to where we feel like we're supposed to grow our businesses alone. Really, you're supposed to allow your family the opportunity to grow along with you, because there's so much that they get to glean from the experiences that you're creating, good and bad. And a lot of times we want to hide the bad and then present the good. They need to know it all. And not only that, they have a lot to bring to the table, guys. And a lot of times, you know, I hear comments like, this generation, they blah, 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 and this generation, and it's always got some kind of negative connotation to it. But after yesterday, like, I was blown away by what the things that my kiddos had to offer and what they brought to the table. And that's what we're going to share today, because they really do have some insights, your kids as well, have some insights that they can really help you in your business, in your day-to-day, in whatever it is that you're doing. But you have to allow them the opportunity to do that, because they know a lot, but sometimes they don't know how to apply what they know. And that's when you get to step in and help them to channel the knowledge and the wisdom that they bring to the table. So I'm not going to share with you all the details as far as the launch that we're going to have coming up, because that's part of the process. You getting to come along the journey with us. And so yesterday I was just thinking, I was like, okay, so how did this come up, guys? Do either one of y'all remember? I just came out of the room and what?
Family business meeting.
So I just said family business meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And what else?
We have a choice.
Well, at first, but then you did have a choice.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
Okay, but then there was a shift after I started seeing some things happen. And then so we started, and I'm like, okay, guys, I want your insights. And so we had the whole insight thing going on. And I was like, man, this is going really good. So I offered them, I came in the room, and then so I said, guys, so if you had your first job ever, like how much would you ask to be paid? And so when I did that, Kaleeb said first. What did you say?
I said about 10 to 11.
$10 to $11 an hour. You said something like for your first job working at?
I think it was in and out of Buc-ee's.
In and out of Buc-ee's, and that was what they pay. And then what did you say?
I said $10.
But after you said $10, what else did you say? I was thinking, what did you say?
About
The higher rate.
Man, I said like 15.
Right. So you said you felt like
15.
I was setting you up, but you
Yeah,
didn't
I had
trust
a
your.
feeling that you was finna say something like that.
You didn't.
You was gonna pay us that much. But then I fully know, so I was just like, 10 sound good.
You didn't
for
trust
first
your
job,
instinct,
so.
and so you just went with the low thing. And what did you learn about that?
I could have got more money.
So you wasn't valuing your worth and what you bring to the table, and then that had an impact on what you got paid for your hourly rate. So that's Relena, Antoine, leave the kids alone. That's funny. But so we was teaching her the lesson about valuing their worth, and so they said $10 an hour. So guess what they got paid? They got paid $10 an hour for their services, because they wasn't really understanding that what they bring to the table with intellectual property, that has value. They were only thinking that if you mow the yard or if you do whatever hard labor, then that's the thing that you get paid for, not realizing that the marketing expertise that they were providing was something that is of value and that they could get paid for. And so after that experience, then when I told them they get paid, then they just came alive. It wasn't nothing about, we got to do this. She said, I got ideas. And then, but before she was like, well, I don't know. Then it came to, I got ideas. And he told me, me too. Pay me too. So we had a really good time going through this experience. So the thing is that I was like, okay, guys, so I'm getting ready to do a launch coming soon. So what ideas do you have about creating an ad? And I just wanted to see what was going to come up for them. And what did you say? What did you say when I was talking about the ad? That first creates engagement. What was the first thing that's going to create engagement when working on an ad or creating an ad, whether it's for Facebook or it's a video, whatever?
The first thing that came to my mind was questions. So like the ad asks questions that like engage you to whatever you're talking about, and like
you got to speak up.
Like it would be questions that were like, are you this, are you that, to like engage you. So like if that was what you were, then you would be like yes, yes, and then you would be engaged more.
Okay. And then after the questions, then because we used the example of what they did on Fortnite ad. And for those of you who are not familiar with Fortnite, he's smiling because he don't want me to pronounce the T in Fortnite. They say how I say it, I'm separating it. But anyway, Fortnite is a game, a shooting game that they play. And so for the ad, all right, for the ad, he was saying they ask questions like, give an example of the question.
Are you tired of playing the same game? Are you looking for something new and stuff like that?
Perfect. So the same is true for you in your business. If you're trying to create a thought-provoking ad, is you need to start with questions. And it's so great because this is not anything that I've ever taught them. This was them paying attention to the ads that they watch, and they were able to debrief these ads or pull it apart in a way that created engagement. And so one of the things that you said, Jayla, was that movies do is they do what?
With the number one movie. So
you need to look that way, hon.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Okay.
All right. So for movies, to get people's attention, and it's like sort of been out for a while, they'll say it's the number one movie, and no one really is really not, but a lot of people have said it's pretty good. And then if you don't watch it, then you feel like you're missing out on something. So then that's when everybody like, oh, okay, I want to go see this movie. Let me check it out and see if it's good for myself. And that's really what the movies what they try to do to get people's attention.
So basically, when we boil that down and summarize it, they made a bold statement in their marketing for that ad that they're the number one, they're the best, they're whatever. They position themselves with a bold statement. So that's another form of an ad, that headline that you can do, is to make a bold statement. Because when you make that bold statement, then it makes you feel like, well, it's something that I'm missing out on, that bandwagon type of thinking, and you don't want to miss out on not seeing the number one movie or whatever it is that you're offering, or not working with the best coach in the Metroplex, or whatever the case is. You need to make a bold statement that provokes thought for something. So that was a really good example. And then on the other ad that we watched for Fortnite was it was an informational ad, and it started off giving some information that it was saying the world is dismantling. And basically what they were saying is that with the world dismantling, that something was changing in the game. Mm-hmm. It was a new information, new insight. Mm-hmm. And then they came with their features and their benefits about that, because they want you to pique your curiosity about, well, what's next. And so after we got towards that part, then what will be the next part of the ad?
After the informational?
Right. So after they done hooked you and you got either the information or you had the bold statement or questions, then what was the next part?
Supporting details.
Was it supporting details? Supporting details meaning what? The features and the benefits?
Yeah. Like all the...
You got to speak up, hon, and you got to look at the camera.
Like all the stuff that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that or whatever. I know what I'm going to say, but I can't really say it.
You remember, Jayla?
I need the paper.
So it was your supporting features. They came up with this stuff themselves. They goofy. They a little bit of camera shock. But anyway, it was the features and the benefits. What are the features and the benefits of the product that you're offering? You need to state that. So after you made that bold statement, you've provoked thought in them with a question, or you've provided some information. Now you need to talk about what are the features and the benefits of the product or the solution that you're going to offer. And so they need to know what does that look like. So if it's, give some features and benefits of what they talk about on Fortnite after they've asked you the questions.
Some of the benefits are like you can buy the battle pass and it gives you like XP, different skins and all this type of stuff, and some of it makes you better, and like it makes you look better and stuff like that.
So now you need to go into the benefits and the product of what your product has to offer. Super important. A lot of times we make a statement, but then we shy off of the benefits. We get caught up in the features of it, and it's not the features that's going to sell. It's the benefits of how it's going to make you feel, the benefits of what you'll be able to do, and how things will be different as it relate to the experience that they're wanting to sell you on. And they also gave a really good example. So we talked about next on the third part of that is call to action. You need to have a strong call to action, which is, what's the call of action, Jayla?
The call of action.
Call to action or call of action, either one. You came up.
I don't remember. I really don't.
Buy now. The call of action, like buy now.
Click here?
Yeah, click here.
I was gonna say that, but okay. So usually it's like click here to learn more, or it'll say buy now. It's another one, but I forgot.
Typically, do they have the prices on there or not?
No.
Why don't they
Unless
have?
if it's free, they'll
Right.
say it straight up. But if it's not, then you have to read the details and all that before.
Right. And so that was a really good point. And they brought up something really good. I think it was Kaleeb, about like when you go to the shoe store, they don't have they have their prices out. Like, wait, how do we say it? So they don't have the prices out, the tag outwardly. They have it on the bottom of the shoe, because if the price is out, you're gonna have skepticism and you're gonna think, oh, I can't afford that shoe. But then if it's on the bottom of it, now you done looked at the shoe, you done created this whole story, you done created your outfit, you done created this whole story. How the kids gonna see me at school?
On your foot.
Right. How the kids gonna see you at school, what your new reputation finna be, all because of some shoes. But now that people have a more of an emotional buy-in into your product, so you also have to be strategic in how you're positioning your pricing, because if it's not strategically priced or it's not positioned in the correct way, then you will repel potential buyers away from the product that you're offering. So that was really good. So if for any of you who are you're trying to up level in your marketing, you're trying to get ready to do some promotions and different things like that, really hone in onto those 3 tips. First, start with something, a thought-provoking beginning part of your ad, whether it's with questions, a bold statement, or informational headline. The second would be to clearly know the benefits of the product that you're offering as it relates to your target audience. And then the third one is to have a clear call to action that's positioned correctly so that you don't repel buyers, you'll attract buyers. But then and then also lastly is you need to really know your market so that your messaging is on point with your market. So those were some really, really cool things that we did as it relates to that. And we learned some really cool lessons along the way about just the differences between the personalities of a female marketer versus a male marketer. There was a lot of times where Jayla was doing a lot of diminishing type of things, like, well, I don't know if I got a good idea or whatever. But what did you learn about that?
About
about valuing your ideas.
What did I learn?
You don't remember?
I didn't learn nothing. I just put my...
Remember when Kaleeb was like, Jayla, you being like that girl on the movie Little?
Okay. That she was not confident with herself and giving the ideas to her boss, and her boss wasn't valuing her at all, and she was just kind of getting ran over and like pushed to the side, and her ideas didn't matter. But then when she spoke up for herself, then her boss started respecting her more.
Yeah. And
she got promoted.
Yeah. And so how does that apply to you? Where it was more being confident. You said the key word, being confident in your ideas, right?
Yeah, speaking up.
Yep, and speaking up, regardless. And so that people will respect your ideas and all of that. So that was really good. That's from that new movie Little with Issa Rae in there and Regina Hall, and I forget the main character, her name, but she was the girl character who was on, the young girl that was on
Diane from Blackish.
Diane from Blackish. So that was really cool with that. And then with Kaleeb, he male marketer, he was confident. What he said, he owned it. It was what it was. You can take it or leave it. And we talked about those differences between how females do things and how males do things. Females feel like they have to do a lot of proving to validate their ideas. Males, they gave you their idea and they meant what they said. And so a lot of times as women entrepreneurs, we have to take that lesson. We need to take the lesson and stop trying to receive external validation, and just confidently own the ideas that we bring to the table, right or wrong. Because who said that your idea is wrong? It's not wrong. You need to be confident in that idea that you're offering. And then lastly, on that note, we were talking about the pay. And so with the pay, she looking at me upside my head because they probably getting hot with this light. You good? So we talked about the pay, and Caleb was like, all right, 2 hours and passed, you owe me $20. Like, period, point blank. Leave the light alone, son, because you're going to make the light mess up. You owe me $20. And so Jayla was kind of feeling some type of way, like, you know I put the hours in, but like I really don't feel like I worked. And so remember, I was teaching them about the intellectual property, valuing their intellectual property. So what they had to do is they had to create their invoice to me. So share your invoice of
Hold on a second.
just hold up your invoice. Get your invoice. So they had to share their invoice for their services. You see, you got a whole sheet of paper, and it's got a whole bunch of stuff on there. Look at her little piece of paper.
Short and little, that's all you need.
Tilly, you was talking about me.
But then you see the male marketer, he was valuing his worth 100%. Males are gonna value what they bring to the table. He probably wrote down, I put a period behind the sentence. And he probably put that because he knew he was gonna get paid. But then us women, what we do, she got it all nicely written and everything, my contributions. And it's just a few, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. And it's all neatly and everything. Ladies, start owning and valuing your worth. You're worth everything that you put in it, because she helped put in a lot of different things. Everything that, and he did too. But he's just owning his a little bit better. And so that's why it's important to teach your kids about this. And it's important to help them to really see what they bring into the table, because if they don't know, because it's coming from their head, it's coming naturally. If they don't know, then they're not going to own it. And then it's the same for you. Like with you need to itemize your services so people will truly understand what you've done and the value that you've created for them, and that you will get paid what you're worth. So that's going to be really important. So they have their invoices. He say, why I deserve my $20, and she put my contribution. So, and then at the end of it, both of them put at the end she put, I brought $20 worth of ideas to the meeting. I love that. And then he said, these are the reasons I deserve my $20. That's how he ended with it. So it's really important for you to, once you've went through all the hard work of putting your services out there for people to know what you do, get paid the value for the work that you've put out there. In my conclusion, I'm going to say, Caleb, do you have anything that you learned from this experience that you can take away that that'll help you in the future?
Yeah, like about valuing your ideas or whatever. Cause like when I'm at school in the table group or whatever, and they're always coming up with key ideas and stuff, and I want to say something, I don't really feel like my idea matters because we already have it sorted out. But if I was to speak up and say something, then we could get a better grade than we already got, and then it could be the teacher's favorite just because me speaking up.
That's awesome. I like that. Good job. Jayla?
You gotta start from the top. You gotta ask them the question.
So what did you learn from this experience that we went through that is going to help you in your life, that you feel like that can help you in your life, whether it's school, work, in the future, whatever comes to mind? What helped you along this process?
That I do really need to speak up for myself more, because I do have a problem with that, a strong problem, and it's not good, and I'm working on it. And for jobs and stuff, like, that can really help with finding jobs, getting paid better, and just overall getting better as a person. And that's really it for me. And for businesses, y'all keep doing y'all, because it's a little difficult. With these ads and stuff, it's a little difficult, but y'all got it.
You did great, though. You did great. Y'all did great. Y'all came up with these things that's behind us, and then it was 2 other things that they came up with. So y'all did great, and it was a really great experience. And so involve your kids in what you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no job too big, too small. They need to know about how to apply themselves in life before they get out there in the world. If you can't expect the schools to teach that to them. You can't expect nobody else to do something that you should be depositing in them. And not just more important, but it is actually more importantly, teach them how to value their worth by showing up and valuing your worth. They're going to value how they see themselves by how you're carrying yourself and how you're conducting yourself in your business and how you're conducting yourself in your life. You are modeling that for them. And the more you model that and you bring them along the journey with you, then y'all all become better. So y'all be looking out for our launch that we have coming up. We're really excited. We've been putting a lot of hours into this, and so we look forward to unveiling what that's going to be in a few weeks. And so we'll just keep you updated with different little things, and I appreciate y'all being here and watching us in this Facebook Live. I hope y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Talk to you later.
Bye.